Is Jason Gallagher, huge Mavs fan, who was out, is he back? Are we
No,
back?
hell no.
Because I'm with you.
The no is look. I'm Nico Harrison. Can you cuss on this? I'll
Who are
play it
you
safe.
talking to? What? Just talk like a normal person.
Gosh darn it.
Okay, all right.
You absolutely can.
Nico Harrison bumble fucking his way into the number one pick does nothing to change my perspective on Nico Harrison. In my view, I think you logically have to be in two camps, which is one, you think the lottery's rigged, and therefore you might actually be back in on Nico Harrison. That's the only way I could ever see anybody being back in on Nico Harrison, is if you buy this concept, which I don't, that the lottery is rigged. Okay, so if you think the lottery's rigged and then Nico was this mastermind or whatever, I could see how you could kind of logically get behind that. If you don't think the lottery is rigged, then I don't see how, like a guy, going to Vegas and getting 19 on blackjack, saying hit me, getting 21 is like that's not smart. That is not smart, and that is not good GMing. And that guy's still in charge. And I have a picture in my office of Jalen Brunson holding up a Mavs jersey next to Luka Doncic holding up a Mavs jersey, and I'm like, y'all really want this guy in charge of your young prospect? Are you out of your mind? So no, I am not back. Wholeheartedly not back.
Yeah, in a weird way, this is why I wanted to have you on, is because you're much more a part of the hoops world than I am or we are. We're kind of spread out. I view you as like probably the most prominent national figure that is a Mavs fan. Like there's like Nick Wright or guys who are like, hey, I think Luka's this or that, but Jason's a Mavs fan. I just wonder, it seemed to me like based on your social media, a lot of people were giving you shit about that. Like not even just like 10 follower fans of like, oh, you're just out. Like a lot of people almost seemed hurt of like, we're losing Jason Gallagher. Like that. It seemed like a lot of people didn't understand or couldn't believe where you were coming from. And I experienced a little bit of that myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really do think that the situation is extremely unique to Dallas, and it's really hard to explain, I think, sometimes to people outside of Dallas, in our sort of generation. Like there's kind of a window of people that have a very specific relationship to the Mavs organization. Obviously, it's professional sports, and there is no real loyalty. Like anyone with half a brain kind of knows that that's the truth. But Dallas, somebody told me this that I thought it was really smart, which is like pro sports, the best way to win people over is to be able to tell a good story. Dallas had been fortunate enough to fall into this amazing story and build this narrative along with their fan base, which is, we have these figures and we build around them and we trust them and we go through the lows with them and we continue to watch their journey, and the fulfillment comes from seeing them reach the mountaintop despite all odds, right? And again, I would venture to say most fan bases don't have that kind of perspective. Like if you're a Miami Heat fan, you don't have that perspective, So but that's very unique to Dallas. It's very unique to, again, our generation of fans. So that's sort of where it all sort of stems from, is that you really broke something that was like really crucial to the heart of what it meant to be a Mavs fan. That I'm not sure even results, like on-court results, can actually fix. Like somebody was like, well, what if he's right about Luka? It doesn't really matter to me if he's right about Luka in some ways,
Yeah.
because of the you have so many stakeholders that you just completely gave the stiff arm to. And so I can almost understand why people don't understand, but but that's how being a Mavs fan, especially, early aughts through 2011 and after the fact, is a huge part of my sports fan identity. Massive. Like, y'all, like that's why I work in this industry. I mean, my first entry point into the industry was was a musical. Like I went to Second City in Chicago, wrote a 2.5 hour long musical about the NBA lockout. That was partially inspired by the fact that Mark Cuban and Dirk Nowitzki couldn't speak to each other at the ESPYs after they won the title because of the lockout. And I was like, oh wow, this is like Romeo and Juliet. And that's what made me go, okay. So I started to write this thing. You know, like it formed so much of who I am that it was such a fucking insult to like years and years of being a fan that I was like, you know what, I'm out. And by the way, guys, I live in Oklahoma City. I live 5 minutes away from the arena, and again, I'm starting to see the pieces of what they're building here. But the one thing I know is that like Sam Presti has a deep, deep respect for his fan base, like deep. I know it for a fact. That to me matters a lot. So, anyways, that was a really long-winded answer, but that's where I just feel confident. And I if people don't like it, that's totally fine. But yeah, I'm still out.